Hey guys, the Sports Entertainer here, back with some more wrestling news. Join us as the Sports Entertainer looks at all the breaking wrestling news and rumors you need to know, including some potentially bad news for Tiffany Stratton as Charlotte Flair is returning to WWE sooner than later, Hulk Hogan set for upcoming WWE appearances, Triple H confirms some big broadcast team changes for Raw and SmackDown, former WWE star JoJo Offerman does ring announcing in AEW before Collision, and much more. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss out on an episode. Triple H confirms Raw runtime on Netflix will be flexible. No doubt fans still have a lot of questions about Monday Night Raw's move to Netflix beginning tomorrow night, including if there's going to be any changes to the runtime of the show. And recently on the Sports Illustrated Media podcast with Jimmy Traina, head of creative Triple H confirmed that Raw's runtime on Netflix will be flexible, revealing it will be flexible. It will be flexible, and I don't necessarily know the time constraints of network television or cable television apply. It's a slightly different platform. Much like many episodic shows, they have the ability to do whatever the show needs to have down. If this episode needs to be an hour, great, it's an hour. If the next episode needs to be 42 minutes, it's 42 minutes. It's what makes for the best product. I'm not saying we're going to be 42 minutes, but clearly we'll deliver the product in a way that is best for Netflix and their business model and best for our storytelling. For me, the perfect showtime is somewhere in the 2.5 hour range. If you had asked me years ago, the 2-hour shows, you get into them and you don't have the real estate on that program to get everything in there you want to get in, all the stories and characters. Next up, Triple H confirms broadcast team changes for Raw and SmackDown. Now, in some other news regarding Triple H, the WWE's chief content officer confirmed that Joe Tessiter will be moving from the Raw brand to SmackDown. And this comes after it was reported that Pat McAfee would be returning to Raw's announcer's desk alongside Michael Cole in the Netflix era, with ring announcers Lillian Garcia and Alicia Taylor also set to switch brands. Here's what Triple H had to say on the Sports Illustrated podcast when asked if Joe's moving to SmackDown. Yes, he's such a massive fan. Even before he was doing anything with us, Joe would text me on stuff. We became friends through Nick. He would be telling me, I saw on this podcast. And I don't even know what he's talking about, and it's my job to know what he's talking about. Let us know down in the comments section below if you guys are happy with Joe Tessiter's move to SmackDown and the dynamic duo of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, calling all the action on Raw moving forward. Next up, is this some potentially bad news for Tiffany Stratton as Charlotte Flair is returning to WWE sooner than later? Now, Tiffany Stratton's celebration after winning the WWE Women's title from Nia Jax on SmackDown this past week may be short-lived, with the latest news revealed regarding Charlotte Flair's status with the company. Because for those of you unaware, Fightful Select reported the other day that Flair is expected to make her return very soon. WWE talent are expecting a familiar face back in the fold soon. A WWE talent that Fightful Select have spoken with expects Charlotte Flair back soon after more than a year sidelined. Now, considering we all know how WWE tend to give Charlotte a massive push whenever she comes back from an injury or another type of layoff, one that usually results in Flair winning a championship, could Tiffy time be cut short if WWE planned for Charlotte Flair to set her sights on the new women's champion on SmackDown, which in all likelihood is exactly what's going to happen? Hopefully Stratton isn't just going to be a transitional champion for Charlotte Flair, because Tiffany definitely deserves to have a legit run with the title and is ready to become a true main event talent in the WWE's women's division. Next up, Hulk Hogan set for upcoming WWE appearances. Now it appears as though Triple H and WWE are planning or preparing for Hulk Hogan to make a return to television this year, as a new report provided by Fightful Select has suggested that there have been discussions behind the scenes about Hulk Hogan making some appearances in WWE, with Cultaholic Wrestling putting out the following statement on the news. Hulk Hogan's presence in the new era of WWE has been pretty minimal, appearing only during the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania celebrations and during the 30-year celebration of Monday Night Raw. Despite his ties to Vince McMahon and a past era of WWE, the Hulkster could be making some appearance in the near future. In an image posted to social media over the weekend, the potential new ring mat for Monday Night Raw on Netflix was shown, featuring many sponsors such as Fortnite, Cricket, and the Netflix logo. One of these sponsors was for Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer brand. Fightful Select have followed this up by revealing that Hulk Hogan has been in discussions for potential appearances with the promotion, though there is no insight on the specific dates, events, or in what capacity he will be appearing for WWE if this comes to fruition. It was reported last month that Hulk Hogan was discussed for an appearance at the Saturday Night's Main Event reboot, though he did not end up being there. Fightful Select noted that it would have been a surprise to those in WWE had Hogan and Jesse Ventura both been present at the same time. Do you guys think WWE should bring back the Hulkster at some point this year, or do you feel like this would be a mistake on the company's part to bring Hogan back? Next up, JoJo Offerman does ring announcing in AEW before Collision. Former WWE ring announcer JoJo Offerman made her surprise return to wrestling as an announcer for AEW before the Collision taping this week. With Sean Ross Sapp breaking the news on Twitter or X, JoJo Offerman is doing ring announcing ahead of AEW TV tonight. JoJo was apparently announced as a special guest on the show, and she announced a dark match for AEW Collision. We're truly happy that JoJo's getting back out there and getting involved with wrestling again after the devastating passing of her fiancé, the late Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda back in 2023. You love to see it. Next up, The Rock confirms Raw on Netflix return. Now, there has been a lot of speculation regarding some of the big returns that could be occurring on the special Raw on Netflix premiere tomorrow night. But one of those rumored big returns is no longer a rumor, it's been confirmed, and it's none other than the final boss, The Rock. The People's Champ took to social media this morning on Instagram to confirm that he will be making an appearance on Raw's Netflix premiere tomorrow night, saying, "Besides having my 3 daughters, my Samoan High Chief title, High Chief Saoli is one of the greatest honor of my life. I gave my word and made a commitment 20 years ago to His Highness High Chief Malietoa Tunamafili II and to our people of Samoa that I would leave my boyish ways behind. Well, I try, and carry my Samoan, Polynesian, and Black culture around the world with great respect, pride, kindness, mana, humility, and warrior spirit. After 20 years of proudly carrying our culture with me around the world, I can't wait to soon return back home to Samoa. I already have chills just thinking about it. Until then, I'll come back home to WWE tomorrow night as we make history on Netflix and begin a new and exciting era. Tomorrow night is dedicated to my grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia, my grandmother, Leah Maivia, and my dad, Rocky Soulman Johnson, and my ancestors who have all paved the way. Now, the fact that The Rock's return has officially been confirmed adds a whole new level of hype to not only tomorrow night's Raw on Netflix premiere as a whole, but specifically to the massive tribal combat match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, a match that will determine who truly has the right to call themselves the tribal chief with that sacred Ula Fala. And maybe The Rock interferes and inserts himself into the equation. Honestly, tomorrow can't come soon enough, guys. The hype is next level now. Well, guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.